All proceeds from the concert went to Aggie Radio to help them keep the station running and to help them get new things for their studio here in the TSC.
You could see more than just trash car racing, as they had hillbilly lawnmower racing as well.
Here in the Spectrum, I'm standing on a stool to get to the height of the guys competing in the dunk contest, all of them about 6'8" or taller. But when I step off the stool, I'm more the height of a normal man. 5'10" is the average height of a man in America, which is why you probably can't dunk as well at home as these guys can in the dunk contest. Girls were even able to step into the flight simulator to get almost the full experience of what it's like to be in aviation. Welcome to this edition of ATV News. I'm Adam Larson.
And I'm Austin Elder.
The 10th Circuit Court of Appeals came to Utah State University for the first time. USU students gathered at the Kane Performance Hall this week to observe the United States government in action.
It's incredibly rare for the 10th Circuit to hold oral arguments outside of their courtrooms, and it's incredibly rare for a circuit court to hold oral arguments on a university campus that does not have a law school.
This was the first time that the 10th Circuit Court of Appeals held sessions at Utah State. You know, we've got a bag of crickets here. We're gonna try eating some of these insect foods.
Oh, let's jump on this.
Yep. Ariana doesn't want to do it, but the rest of us we're gonna do it. So
No,
grab a cricket there, Mike.
Oh. All right, I got one.
Here we go, guys. The moment has arrived.
Here we go for journalism.
Oh man, this one's jumping around.
Looks tasty, Mike.
They're great. I don't know what you're talking about. Adam,
Yeah, I got a lot of
Austin,
them
you guys
here.
taking part of this
Yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers, man.
feast?
All right.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, that's juicy.
Oh, juicy. Oh.
That is not as
Well,
good as
I
wanna
was
be.
glad to not participate in that. Thank you for joining us on this edition of ATV News. You can catch all the latest editions on our Facebook page. We'll leave you with some shots of Katie Elizabeth Room Paint Night.
Welcome back to Kirby Court at the Wayne Estes Center in Logan, Utah. We're having our second set here in conference play tonight. It's the Wyoming Cowgirls who took the first one by a score of 25-13. I'm Logan Black. I'm here with the all-knowing Adam Larson. He's a lot of fun to listen to if you weren't here for our first set. Knows a lot about the game. Adam, what's it going to take for the Aggies to work their way back in here in the second set?
Well, they've really got to get rid of those hitting errors. Only hit 097 in that first set compared to Wyoming's 385. And the Cowgirls on the season average hitting 220. So you just can't let a team hit 385 on you if you want to win a set. And so Utah State really going to have to change that up, hit a little bit better, and they really need to get some blocks. Only had one block in that first set, average 2.5 blocks per set over the course of the season, which is pretty good. They rank 32nd in the nation in blocking right now, which is really good for a team that, you know, you look at their record, you wouldn't think a team is that good. So they've really got to get better on their blocking and keep those attacks in bounds, and they just couldn't do it right there as well.
Well, let's jump into a quick story real quick. Visiting with Coach Dubose earlier in the week, he talked about a man named Carl McGowan. Now, for those of you that have followed volleyball, men's volleyball, women's volleyball, Olympic volleyball for most of your lives, Carl McGowan is considered one of the best volleyball coaches in the world, or rather was. He passed away back in December of 2016. He was the former coach of the U.S. men's national team and the head coach at BYU. Coming back to Coach Dubose, he talked about attending, I guess you'd call it a training, a conference, something for volleyball coaches, where Coach McGowan was an instructor. And he talked about how there had been $250,000 offered out by the FIVB to find out how you win volleyball games. And in his story, Coach Dubose didn't mention what the $250,000 answer was, but he said that Coach McGowan in that training said that it comes down to two things: serving and serve receiving. If you can do that well, you're going to win a lot of volleyball games. Like you touched on, Adam, that's something that Utah State is going to need to do a better job of if they want a chance to get back into this one.
They really, you know, in this game, there's a good tip right down the line from Wyoming. I believe it was Haley McArdle. Don't quote me on that one, though. I might be wrong, but I believe it was her. But you're right, you know, serving and serve receive. Wyoming's been so good today on the serves. 4 aces in this game. Utah State has none. and has 2 serving errors.
They
Wyoming has
started
none.
off the match with a serving error.
And so that's something you've really got to change. And you know, serve receive hasn't been great for the Aggies as well. They haven't been able to get good, solid passes off of that serve receive. And really that's what you want is off of that serve receive, if you get a good, strong pass, you want to be able to come out with the kill before the other team even has a chance to attack the ball.
Well, the Aggies are hanging early on. It's 3-2, Cowgirls lead. They've led all match. This is going to be a tough play and likely result in a free ball. Light attack there. Dubé with the pass, the attack from the outside. Wyoming receives well, and a powerful kill finds its way in.
Jackie McBride, their middle, one of the best players on this team, leads the team in kills coming into this game. I believe still leading the team in kills. She's got 3 on the night now, or 2 on the night, excuse me. Is it 3? The stats are updating right in front of me. She's got 3 kills on the night right now, and she is just phenomenal in the middle for the Cowgirls.
Here's the attack. This Wyoming defense is exceptional. They'll give away a point there. It's rare to see them make a mistake like that. Utah State cuts it to 3-4, but some of these receptions have been nothing short of incredible.
Yeah, very good. And like I talked about earlier, Maddie Fields, their libero, has just been phenomenal. She's on pace to set their record for digs in a career at Wyoming. And so when you know when someone's about to set the record for something, they've got to be pretty good at it if it's a good record, you know. We're not talking about serving errors that she's about to break. We're talking about digs.
We have a good rally going here. There's a dig. Guess who it was from? Maddie Fields. Utah State with the kill.
A big block there from Bailey Downing. Yeah, check this one out right here. Gets up on that line, gets both of those hands over the net, pushes over, and pushes that ball straight back down on the Cowgirls' side.
Welcome to ATV Sports. Today we've got a lot of touchdowns, but there's a few other things sprinkled in the middle. I'm Adam Larson. Let's get right into it. Utah State football took on Stony Brook Saturday, and they put on a show. Players and fans were excited for the first home game of the season and the first home game for Coach Gary Anderson in his second stint with the Aggies. Anderson finished his first stint with a 26-24 record before leaving for Wisconsin. Jordan Love started his day off with a deep pass to Jordan Nathan here. Utah State would fumble on the drive, but Devin Tompkins took the punt return to the house to score the Aggies' first touchdown of the night and his first touchdown return of the season. Love would throw for over 200 yards in just the first quarter, including this dart to Siosi Mariner for the touchdown. The Aggie defense was also heavily involved, getting a stop here and not allowing any points from Stony Brook in the first half. Utah State had 14 different players make a catch in the game, including this nice one by Caleb Rep. Aggies would have almost as many yards on the ground as they did through the air, thanks to several long runs, including this 28-yarder by Jalen Warren and a 54-yard touchdown run on the Aggies' next drive. What a run right here by Warren. He finished with 105 rushing yards in the game, and the Aggies had over 300 yards rushing as a team. Quarterback Henry Columbi threw his first touchdown of the season as Utah State played 3 quarterbacks in the game, all 3 of them scoring touchdowns after Andrew Peasley took this one 59 yards on the ground for the touchdown. Peasley did get injured later in this game, bringing Columbi back in to throw for another touchdown, capping off a 62-7 win for the Aggies. Utah State's 62 points is the second most under Coach Anderson. The Aggies' next game is at San Diego State on September 21st. USU wants a look in your bag before you can get into a football or basketball game. The Aggies instituted a new bag search policy coming up starting this season and going into next season. Prohibited items include alcohol, smoking devices, noisemakers, fireworks, lasers, camera lenses over 4 inches, bikes, scooters, skateboards, any sort of tripod, stadium chairs with legs, coolers, drones, heaters, strollers, umbrellas, and weapons. A clear bag policy will be in place for Aggie football and basketball next season, so you're going to need to get some clear bags if you want to get into the games. Utah State volleyball fell to Washington State 1-3, Idaho 0-3, and Portland 2-3 at the North Portland Marriott Invitational over the weekend. The Aggies are now 0-6 on the season. Utah State soccer beat Marquette 5-1 Sunday behind goals from 5 different Aggies, and junior Ashley Cardozo was named the America First Credit Union USU Student Athlete of the Week after her performance. Skyview hosted Madison, Idaho Friday in a high-scoring football contest. Here, Mason Falslev extends the Bobcats' lead with his 6th touchdown pass of the season to Kaysen Carlson, and then he took this one in on the ground from 55 yards out for his 2nd rushing touchdown of the season. Falslev leads the Bobcats in passing and rushing yards in 2019, but wasn't able to be returning to this game after appearing to injure his shoulder. Madison would cut into the Skyview lead with this play, setting up a touchdown run, but it was just too little too late, as Skyview took home the win 45-33. Skyview's next game is at home against Green Canyon on Friday night. Bonneville made the trek up to Cache Valley to take on Mountain Crest Friday, and they dominated the rushing game with 4 rushing touchdowns, the first of them by Brock Samuels here, and then Cameron Jones jukes his way into the end zone right here at the end. What a nice little juke right there. Gets into the ground, 3rd touchdown of the game, and Mountain Crest answered with some of the deepest touchdown passes you're going to see this week in high school football. Taden Burbank, 66 yards to Trey Fuller, and then they linked up again for an 80. The Mustangs passing attack, winning 41-28. Mountain Crest takes on Logan at home on Friday night. Ridgeline hosted Highland, Idaho in a slugfest on Friday. The Riverhawks strike first with Caden Cox's passing touchdown here. 1 of 2 for him on the day, and they got some great field position here as well with a 4th interception of the season by their defense, and Rhett Gerbert returns, setting up another scoring drive for Ridgeline. Cox's 2nd touchdown pass of the first half, but those will be the only points Ridgeline scored in this game, as Highland kicked a field goal to end the first half and cut the lead and scored 2 more touchdowns in the second half to win the game 16-13. The Riverhawks open region play against Bear River at home on Friday. And that's everything we had this weekend. Planes, helicopters, and flight simulators. Utah State's Girls in Aviation Day had plenty for everyone who showed up.
So, right here is your airspeed, so that's how fast you're going.
These girls are learning about a plane flown by Utah State students, hands-on.
They get to try something they've never done before, and when they do it, they're just like, they go, wow, this is so amazing. And it's really cool to see them get excited about something that they haven't done before.
Girls were even able to step into the flight simulator to get almost the full experience of what it's like to be in aviation.
Whether they want to fix airplanes, fly airplanes, work on them, air traffic control, this is a chance for them to know what they can do in the future.
Utah State has a new drone miner and used one to take a picture of everyone at the event.
So I always thought women have been doing what they want for years, and that it was no big deal that I was going to go into this field.
The keynote speaker says working on airplanes isn't just for men.
We are capable, we're strong enough, it's all about physics, you know, we don't need to have that extra muscle.
Olson says she didn't have a female to look up to in the field.
I wish I had it, so I want to be that voice and face to other girls.
She hopes these girls continue their interest in aviation.
I would love to have one day to have an all-female engine change crew so we can actually prove, listen, we got this, we can do it.
Guitar, bass, singing, drums. You could see these at the concert thrown by Aggie Radio Friday night. Aggie Radio hosted the event for College Radio Day, bringing Roseburg and the Mojave Nomads to Logan to play for everyone, not just Utah State students. Aggie Radio's station manager says there's a reason why they picked these 2 bands.
Roseburg is by far like the best band to work with in Utah right now. They're just so nice and so cooperative and so like eager to become big, but in a good way.
Roseburg was supposed to play at the Big Ag Show earlier this year, but was rained out. Ellis says he wanted to give them another chance to play in Logan. Ellis spent the morning with other Aggie Radio members handing out flyers to get people to come to the concert. All proceeds from the concert went to Aggie Radio to help them keep the station running and to help them get new things for their studio here in the TSC. The Aggie Radio marketing director says she hands out flyers for events like this because the station means so much to her.
It gives back to the organization that's helped me so much and make it better than how I found it.
Close to 50 people attended the concert, not as many as Ellis hoped would show up. Ellis says college radio is more than just what you hear coming through your speakers.
Music has no boundaries, and therefore like radio, our community has no boundaries. It's like full of acceptance and love, and there's a place for everyone.
Adam Larson, ATV News. Demolition Derby met NASCAR at the Logan Fairgrounds this weekend. Trash car racing had all sorts of old cars and vans make an appearance, but some of them didn't make it through the night. One man went head-to-head against his brother.
This race, he took my car out. Last race, I took his car out.
Crashes and cars getting stuck are common, so drivers pick any car they can find.
This one I got from my roommate. My last two I got out of a scrapyard. Just whatever I get with 4 tires. We just make whatever run.
Conover says racing is a hobby he enjoys with his family and friends.
You could see more than just trash car racing, as they had hillbilly lawnmower racing as well.
One lawnmower driver enjoys the night's environment.
I just feel like that I'm with like-minded people, that just want to come out, have a good time.
Garner says he thinks lawnmower racing is safer than driving in the cars, but you can still tip over. The night also saw the cowhide ride, a person getting dragged behind a four-wheeler on a piece of cloth. One man jumped from the crowd to try it out.
Ate a lot of mud, got a little cut up, and had a great time.
But someone always drives through the mud a winner. Dunks and threes were about the only thing shot at Aggie Madness. The Aggie men's and women's basketball teams squared off in inter-squad scrimmages and shooting contests in fans' first opportunity to see both teams. Diogo Brito won one of the shootouts, teaming up with a fan, and Lindsey Jensen Baker beat Brock Miller in the three-point contest. Women's head coach Jerry Finkbeiner says the event was much bigger than last year's.
We may have to go to the Spectrum next year, as the center may not be able to hold it next year.
The Estes was standing room only after the stands filled up 15 minutes before the event was scheduled to start. Men's head coach Craig Smith says the night is something the team really looks forward to.
You can always count on one of our worst practices of the year to be this afternoon of the late show, because they're just like little kids, getting ready for a big event.
Finkbeiner says the highlight of the night is always the men's team dunk contest.
I know there's a lot more guys on the bench could dunk too. They showed 4 off tonight, but there's probably about 14 of those guys could throw it down, so it was a lot of fun to wait the end of the night too.
Here in the Spectrum, I'm standing on a stool to get to the height of the guys competing in the dunk contest, all of them about 6'8" or taller. But when I step off the stool, I'm more the height of a normal man. 5'10" is the average height of a man in America, which is why you probably can't dunk as well at home as these guys can in the dunk contest. Last year's dunk contest winner came out in style, singing "I Believe I Can Fly" before his first dunk. Other dunkers include Liam McChesney, Kuba Karwowski, and Sean Bairstow. Karwowski and Bairstow would both advance to the final. Bairstow would eventually win the dunk contest by fan vote with this dunk. Smith said he didn't have any dunks scare him like last year when Lemias Keita jumped over 7 fans to dunk the ball.
Nimi and Bean both scared the living snot out of me last year.
Adam Larson, ATV News.